Welcome to the PrepZone 2022 show. We're in week 3 now, I believe, for our show.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I'm joined by my co-host, Zach McCullar. Zach, another weird week of football, another disappointing week for most county teams, but...
And even teams up in Winston County struggled, except Lynn.
Well, week 1.
They did.
Barely. Yeah, it was very close.
You get used. I've already gotten used to Meek dominating everybody, even though it was a 3A
Colbert
playoff.
Heights.
Yeah, Colbert Heights. They're really good.
That was a lot closer than I expected. I was there for the first half, and I actually wore a blue shirt. I didn't know that was their colors, and I fit in perfectly with the Colbert Heights coaches.
Yeah, I mean, they're blue, and they've got the CH. Oh, we went to Oakman and Colbert Heights, and I'm like, wait, is this Carbon Hill playing? Oh, no, that's just Colbert Heights. It's so similar.
Yeah, I'd like to see Carbon Hill play Colbert Heights, actually.
Yeah, that'd probably be a decent game.
Maybe Carbon Hill would keep it close. But let's jump right in. Okay, let's talk about Player of the Week. It was kind of a weird week because Neil Foster, one of our best linebackers in the area last year, is his first game. He had 20 tackles, which I've never heard of anybody around here getting 20 tackles.
That's a clinic. I mean...
Right. I mean, I had no choice. He had to get Player of the Week. 20 tackles just doesn't happen.
He's probably going to be leading our area teams 4 weeks in for tackles, and he's played 1 game.
That's exactly. Yeah. Think if he had played it, he'd have what, 80 at this point.
80 tackles. Goodness gracious.
And 3 sacks. I mean, that single-handedly helped Dora beat Haleyville last week. But congratulations to him. It was a tough week because we also had Spencer Rosenfeld had a great game. Speaking of people coming back.
Right.
He was suspended 2 games. He's back. Boom, they win.
Exactly, and they've got another winnable game this week.
Yes, we will get to that. But, all right, let's talk about last week's games. What did you think about Jasper?
I was surprised they won. I was surprised they won. I thought Fairfield was going to win that, and because I was looking at the schedule and I thought the one team I'm sure they're going to beat, the one team that I'm sure that they're not going to beat was Fairfield, and then some of the big powerhouses. Mm-hmm. I did not see that happening in the least. I mean. Just congratulations to Philip Bailey for getting that first win on the season. Maybe they'll turn it around. They started, 0-3?
0-3, yep.
Though it's always hard to turn it around once you started like that, but once you can get going in the other direction, you could be on a roll.
They're in a set of games where they can still make the playoffs.
They could.
I mean, it's crazy. They have 5 games, and they pretty much got to win in all the region games left before they get to that home stretch with Pleasant Grove and Homewood. But, yeah, they have a winnable game this week. But last week, 34-26 over Fairfield. Fairfield really wasn't that close. They scored on the last play of the game. And Fairfield fumbled twice at the 1. I mean, that'll kill you every time. But probably the game of the week was corner at Cordova, would you say?
I mean, you don't see a lot of overtime games in high school, surprisingly. Yep. You'd think you would. Corner is undefeated. Cordova 2-2. I mean, I really didn't see this being that close. I mean, kudos to Shane Smothers and Cordova for getting down to the last play on a 2-point conversion.
Oh, no.
Just another game. I remember last week you said that Cordova was, 2 plays away from being undefeated? Make it 3.
3
plays away from being undefeated.
Yeah, and you can single out one play. This one was a missed extra point. That could have won it. They missed a 2-point conversion. That could have won it. I mean, just no luck over there. Got to have a little bit of luck, and they have not had any yet.
One game could turn it around, though.
Yes. They still have a chance, but it's going to be a lot tougher now. We talked a little bit about Meek, Colbert Heights. What do you think about Sulligent, Winston County? That was the only Friday night game we had.
It was, and I picked Sulligent. I did think
yeah.
Sulligent was going to win because I went to the first week of the season, Oakman at Sulligent, saw Sulligent's first. I saw Sulligent play, and they looked impressive.
Oakman, yes.
Yeah, Sulligent is a good team. We don't give them as much credit as they deserve. And Winston County, their offense just couldn't get going. Their running attack was stifled. You'd think in the rain, their running attack would do really well, but it didn't.
That was surprising. I mean, they were winning. It was just one of those kind of ugly games. You were hoping they'd somehow pull it out, but 12-8, which is a very strange final for them. And Dora beat Haleyville 21-12. It was pretty much Dora's offense just, in 2 years, they just haven't clicked.
Right.
They're winning by defense still, but eventually they'll need to get that offense going, I think.
They would need to get that offense going. And Travis Williams, he's a defensive coach. He is a defensive mastermind, so I'm not surprised that their defense is playing on the level they're at right now. Their offense, like you said, does need to catch up because they've got that big game against Corner this week. We'll see what they'll do.
Yeah, that is a huge game. All right, now let's talk about our top 5 power rankings. This is the usual, pretty much. We know who's going to be at the top. Who do you have at 5th?
Well, 5 was a real struggle picking between Dora and Lynn after Lynn completely demolished Summoning Christian. I did not see that happening in the least. 37-0. Lynn was able to win. But the one reason I don't have Lynn at 5, and the reason I have Dora at 5, so Dora's my number 5 team, is just that that Alabama Christian game where they lost 63-36 or something like that.
That was bad, yeah.
You got to win games like that. And Dora, they corrected their mistakes from week 1. They should have beat Winfield. They really should have beat Winfield. So that they should be sitting at 3-1 right now. And Aniana, it's impossible to beat Aniana nearly. I mean, it's a tough schedule, and they've done really well with it. So I have them at 5.
Okay. I have Lynn at 5.
You have Lynn at 5.
Well, I'm giving them a break on the Alabama Christian 3A team from Montgomery. This team is battling, tough teams every week. Come up here to little Lynn, Alabama, 1A. So, I commend Lynn for playing them. They didn't have to play that game. They could have took just had another off week.
Yeah, they could have took Vina.
This all happened because R.A. Hubbard shut down and it messed up the schedule. So, and they picked up a tough team and they got drilled.
And so did Meek. They picked up Colbert Heights and they won that. Fortunately for our area teams, because now we've got someone else undefeated still.
Yes, but Lynn's 5. What about 4?
4, I have Addison. Addison, they beat Hackleburg by 12, a little closer than I thought it would be. But the reason I don't have them any higher is because of that loss to Winston County. That just stands out to me on their schedule as a blemish that really should not be there.
And in the opener, got 29-8, I think. That was very surprising. So I have Dora at 4.
Dora. Okay, I was wondering why you'd put Lynn over Dora. Well, you did.
Dora.
So,
I've been singing their praises even before the season started. I know they're 2-2, yes, and they should have beat. If they played Winfield now, they probably beat them.
Oh yes, with Neil Foster playing, they definitely.
Yeah, Neil. You add a guy that good, like an all-state caliber linebacker. Yeah, it might have made a difference in a 1-score game.
20 tackles will help.
Yes.
Anything.
Great. It's a huge addition, and he is a state championship wrestler. I forgot to say that earlier, so he's really good at that too. But. All right, well, what do you have 3?
3rd, I have Winston County. Even after their loss, I'm not going to drop them below Addison. I just couldn't do that after how they played against them. Solent, like I said, it's a tough team, so I'm not going to fault Winston County too much for losing that. I do have them going down a spot, though.
I do have Addison on there at 3, just because it seemed like they turned the page. Like you mentioned that Winston County game. It seems like then they had those 2 easy games. And Hackleburg was probably a big change of pace.
Right.
Playing a decent team for once.
Yeah.
So, I have Addison, but we've all talked about them a little bit. Okay, we done number 2?
Yeah, number 2 is Corner. Corner, they had the close win over Cordova. They have some things they can improve on heading into this tough game against Dora this week. But Corner, the reason they're not at 1 is because of Meek. It's obvious. But Corner, this is the same Corner team. What record? What was their record last year?
I want to say 2-8.
It was 2-8. That's not a good season. And now to turn it around like this, it is a complete 180 about face. So I've got Corner sitting at 2nd. They're up 2 spots from last week.
I think we have the same at 2-1 because Corner. They have a tough game this week, but hey, you're 3-0.
Right.
And you've run over. I never thought they'd win at Cordova. No. That's a tough place to win. And for that guy to put the team on his back, Gavin Brown puts the team on his back, scores every touchdown, throws a touchdown, and they win by a point. So, they've done a really good job. Coach Cooper over there.
Right.
Don't talk about him much, but he's done a great turnaround job. I think they started 2-0 last year, lost to 8 straight, something like that.
Right, they did lose 8 straight. I was looking back to see, well, what kind of win streak are they on? They've won 3 games this year. They're on a 3-game win streak.
So they've already passed last year's win total.
And what
I didn't expect that.
I did not expect that to happen.
And let's go with number 1.
Number 1 is Meek, of course. 4-0. No matter who you play, 4-0 is really good. But they've had a pretty tough schedule up to this point. Last week they had who did they have last week? They had
Colbert Heights.
Yeah, they had Colbert Heights. I'm sorry, Colbert Heights, really tough game, and that's because of R.A. Hubbard closing. This week they have another tough one when they have to go to Phillips to play. Phillips is undefeated. We'll get into that in a minute. But I have Meek staying at number 1. No, I do not see any sign of them dropping from that point.
I think every week we've had them both had them at number one,
Yeah,
right?
they are undisputed number one in the area.
I mean, who else is undefeated? Corner and then Meek. Is that it? That's it, right?
It's just Corner and Meek.
There you go. I mean, it's hard to argue it. And they did not play well. They didn't play well at that game. They still won. They scored with under a minute to go. And then you know what they're going to do. They're going to run it. It still worked. He does a great job over there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I'm expecting him to bounce back, have a better game this week. Okay, so now we're into, let's talk about games this week. Now, Curry, this is a weird one. Curry's playing Thursday.
Right.
In front of everybody at Hueytown.
I don't see why they're playing there, but okay.
Is Oak Grove, apparently it must be close to Hueytown because they're playing Oak Grove at Hueytown. Very, very weird. Oak Grove's field is not ready. They're having a new turf field. All these Jefferson County schools got turf.
Yeah.
It must be flowing with money in Jefferson County somehow.
But next year it's going to just mean Oak Grove's got another advantage.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice. Good for them.
And Oak Grove, they've turned it around. I mean, Curry's turned it around getting one win. They have two, and they have been to where they're 1-9 every year. Their only win is Curry. And now they're sitting at 2-1.
Yeah, I will probably take Curry in that game. Just I'm guessing we'll both take Curry. I mean, Oak Grove.
Yes,
not,
I got Oak
not
Grove.
Curry.
No,
Okay.
yeah. I was going to say home field advantage, but it's at Hueytown, but still, it's in Birmingham. To me, Birmingham's just one big city with all those suburbs.
I know exactly. That's what I always say.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard road trip for Curry, but they have Vina coming up. How long till Vina game? I mean, this is the countdown to Vina.
Yeah, I think that's their next game.
That's their next game after this, so they are getting ready for that.
They're going to get win number 2, I believe.
Yes, I do think so. So they might be looking ahead a little bit. I just don't see them going and winning this game.
Yeah, that would be tough. This isn't your typical Oak Grove, like we said. All right, what about Brilliant at Summit Christian? Brilliant 0-3, Summit Christian 1-2 now.
Brilliant has been outscored 167-8 this year.
Wow, I did not know that.
This is it's the worst Brilliant team I've ever seen. I'm gonna say
that's saying a lot. They've had some bad teams over the years.
They have been 0-10 every year, and then they finally were going up. They made the playoffs in 2020.
Yeah, they were good that year.
Yeah,
the second round or third round, right? Yeah.
What, 5-4 regular season? They had a forfeited game to Carbon Hill at the end, but they would have had a winning season if they had not forfeited that game. And now to see them all the way back down here, I think Summit Christian, they've got home field advantage, a bad team coming in. This is what they need to recover from a stinging loss last week against Lynn.
Yeah, that was shocking. I thought it would at least be close.
Oh, yes.
Summit Christian, I mean, boy, it's a tough road. There's so many teams in that region.
There is.
They could make the playoffs, but yeah, let's start with Brilliant first. Okay, what about Winston County traveling to Greene County? I have not picked this game because it's a tough one.
You have not picked it because it's tough. All right.
I pick it.
It's at Greene County.
While you're picking, I'll pick that one.
It's at Greene County, Utah, Alabama. This is a tough road trip. It is hard to go win down at Greene County. Winston County's got a good team. They're coming off a loss. This is the game I see Winston County dropping. I think Greene County's going to end up pulling this one out. Home field advantage is going to be a tough game. I think Greene County is going to force a lot of turnovers. I've got the Tigers winning.
I think you just talked me into Greene County. But I know they really need it. What if they fall to 0-2? It's going to be really tough in the region.
And you heard Coach talking about before the season, they want to host a playoff game. Mark Mitchell wants to host a playoff game at Double Screen. You have to win this unless there's going to be chaos in the region.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
To control their own destiny, they have to win this thing.
Yeah, I see it being close like last week. I mean, is Sulligent better than Greene County? I don't know. Greene County has been tough over the year. I remember when Cordova won state, Greene County beat them one of those years. They made the championship game.
Right, and Greene County, they
went up to 2A.
Yeah, they're down in 2A. They went up in 3A. They had a tough run of luck. Now they're back down to 2A. This is their wheelhouse. I think they're going to pull it out.
What do you think about Waterloo Addison?
I struggled with this. This is the kind of this was a game that could be an upset, but I've just got too much Bulldogs in this. I'm going Addison.
Yeah, me too. Waterloo is better than usual.
They are a lot better than usual.
Okay, we talked about Meek a little before. Meek at Phillips, undefeated Phillips, Bear Creek.
Yeah, this is a tough road trip. I was thinking about picking Phillips for a long time, but you get to thinking, Meek is really good. I don't see them dropping a game until we get to Oatman. Now, if Oatman's really improved, that one could be tough. But I see Meek wiping off every team on the board till that last game. So I've got Meek in this one.
Yeah, Phillips has improved also, but yeah. If Meek takes care of business, doesn't fumble, doesn't throw a bunch of interceptions, they should win this game.
Get Cam Deaver going and
yeah,
they'll be fine.
He will somehow. He gets his
he'll find
200 yards. Okay, we're at Carbon Hill, Oakman. Oh, wait, Lynn, let's go
Yeah, we got
Lynn
Lynn.
at Holy Spirit first.
Holy
Spirit
Spirit.
started back
Yeah.
this year.
They did. They started back. Good for them. And you mentioned Carbon Hill. Carbon Hill's head coach, Mark Cochran, was at Holy Spirit.
He was their last coach?
Yeah, he was their
Yeah.
last coach before they shut down. Now they're back. They haven't won a game. But, hey, they're back at least. I'm glad to see them back. Of course, Lynn is going to win. I've got Lynn
Yes.
very big.
Yeah, Lynn is rolling right
They
now.
are
maybe
rolling.
Maybe that one game
Yeah, maybe
could be
that-
their only setback for a while.
That one loss might have they might have flipped a switch. Mark Hastings is a great coach.
The good thing was that was a non-region.
It was.
So
It's
they
not-
could go
it's
to
not-
3-0 right here.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt them that bad. So I've got Lynn winning big.
We talked about Cochran a minute ago. Cochran and Carbon Hill at Oakman, 2-2.
Yeah,
Carbon Hill 0-3.
this is the kind of game that, this is the kind of week that's going to be filled with upsets. I think if Carbon
so.
Hill could pull off an upset, this could be it. Do I see that happening? I could see it happening, yes. But do I think it's going to happen? No. I've got Oakman at home. It's very tough to win at Oakman. I have seen a few games there. That is a very good home atmosphere.
Really tough. And they're getting, we talk about improvement. They've really improved since the start. Since you saw them
They
at
have.
Sulligent.
Yeah, when you looked at Sulligent, it was just
a lot of mistakes, right?
It was just young. They had a really young team. They have went from boys to men right before our eyes. This is an Oakman team. This is more reminiscent of the ones in the past few years.
Yeah, he always talked about this team being good in a couple of years, but they're already 2-2.
They are.
And they have a chance at the playoffs too.
Yeah, and hey, if Carbon Hill, I was looking at standings. If Carbon Hill wins this game, they are third in the region.
Wow.
Yeah, Winfield hadn't got a region win yet, which is shocking. They had a
Yeah,
tough
that's
game.
crazy.
Yeah, so they could go to third in the region. So could Oakman.
I think Gordo.
Yeah,
beat
Gordo.
Winfield.
Gordo and Fayette are the only two teams.
Boy,
with
Fayette's
win
really
the
had a
region.
bounce
Yeah.
back year. Okay, Cordova at Hamilton. Hamilton has lost 10 in a row, which I can't believe.
Yeah, I got used to Hamilton being the powerhouse that you couldn't beat, and now Cordova, they're 3 plays away from beating 4.
3.
I think this is where they're going to turn it around, and I think they could make a run late season. I got Cordova winning this, and hopefully that's going to be a precursor of what's to come.
Yeah, I think it's get well week for
yes.
Hamilton. Against Hamilton. Hamilton, I picked earlier this year. I picked corner to beat Hamilton. It was 52-14 at Hamilton. So this should be around that score. Okay, Jasper back at home. Winona at Jasper. It's a big game for them.
Yeah, Winona was not a great team last year. They were pretty bad. Now they've improved. Jasper was a good team. They've gone down a little bit, but they're on the way up. Home field advantage. It's at Cairo Gamble Field. I've got the Vikings winning this one.
I do too. I did not believe it last week.
Yeah.
But I think Fairfield's better than Winona, and Winona they're 2-1.
Right,
but it's all about who they beat.
Yeah, last week you said, I won't pick Jasper until they show me they can do something. Well, they've showed us that they can do something.
That's what it took. All right, our game of the week, Dora at corner. I think, who'd you have in this one?
I got Corner winning this one. I was going to put this on, but it wouldn't fit. I'm not Luke Corso. I got Corner winning this. They're undefeated. They're a really good team. Dora, I think they're going to play a lot closer. I mean, if this game was last week, I would have Corner winning big. Now I think it's going to be close. With Neil Foster, I think is going to be a big impact to make it close. But I just see too much Yellow Jackets in this one.
Wow, I need to reach for the Dora helmet.
Yeah, but it's a long ways off.
My arm is not that long. But I take Dora for I just think they'll shut them down. They beat them last year. I know that was a 2-8 corner team. Dora is 2-2, but I think if they had corner schedule, they'd be 3-0. So
They might be, yeah.
Well, I don't know. They have to play at Cordova.
That's
That'll
true.
be very, very difficult.
I cannot wait for that Dora Cordova game.
Yeah, and I hate 2 years in a row, both at Cordova for Chavis. They didn't even get to play them at home yet. But corner is the other big rival. They have a new field. It's supposed to be the opening of their turf field. I asked the coach today. He said they're playing there because the option was Gardendale if they didn't have their field ready.
I'd take a home field advantage. Yeah,
Yes.
Gardendale would just be a double road trip.
Yeah, but I think Dora. I think they'll beat them pretty handily. I'm going to say that Dora's not going to score a lot.
No,
you know
they're
that.
not.
So maybe 21-12, maybe like last week.
Yeah, maybe like last week's
21-12.
score.
There you go. 21-13. I'll make it a little bit closer.
I've got Corner winning 28-22.
Yeah, that's about right for Dora points. They're going to win by defense. Every game will be close by design, pretty much. Okay, so all right, we're off. We're done with high school.
Don't high school.
I did not write it down, but let's talk Jimbo Fisher first. Not my friend. I never liked him.
I never liked him.
I've never liked him. I know he has ties to the state. I think he played at Samford.
He did play at Samford, yeah.
And he coached around here, but he rubbed me wrong ever since. Maybe It was mainly Jameis Winston. I'm an Auburn fan.
Yeah.
He let them play, let them go away with murder, and then they beat them. So that didn't help. But even aside from that game, I never really liked
I
him.
feel kind of bad for you for that 2013 championship game. The reason I'm not a big fan of him, I'm an Alabama fan. You can't say you're going to slap Nick Saban in the face without making somebody mad. Am I happy to see A&M losing that game? No, well, maybe a little. But I wanted to see that Alabama A&M game in October, a big game. It's not. But Texas A&M, they've got a tough game this week. They can rebound. I mean, they have very good athletes.
Miami this week.
Yes, Miami is a very good team. Tyler Van Dyke's their quarterback. Never thought I'd say this. He's better than Derek King, who they had last year, and he was supposed to be the Heisman winner and everything. He got benched 4 games into the season. Van Dyke comes off the bench, starts throwing around touchdowns like it was sandlot football. Miami's got a really good team.
Now, what was the score last week?
Last week it was
Appalachian State
17-14.
17-14. Scored 14 poits
That
at home against Appalachian
That
State.
field goal, though, I mean, I saw clips. I'm like, how do you kick a field goal that bad?
It's terrible. And it couldn't have happened to a better team and a better coach. But, all right, so you were at the Alabama. Well, you were at the opener. You'll beat this one.
Right, I will.
In Alabama playing.
They got Louisiana Monroe.
Yes, Louisiana Monroe. Hey, I went there when they lost.
You were
to
there?
That was Saban's opening
Yeah,
year.
my dad was at that game, too, and so was my grandfather. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Thank heavens I don't.
that was. Yeah. Hey, you'll take one bad loss and look at what they've done since.
I know. What, they haven't lost to a group. They've lost to, what, one group of 5 since? And that was a bowl game against Utah the year before
That's
they were
right,
supposed to
yeah,
go into
that's
the
right.
Pac-12.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought they were in the Pac-12 at that point. So, yeah, okay. Well, Alabama, this will be easy. But what do you think after last week? Do you feel as confident?
That was the worst performance I've seen Alabama since they got beat 44-16 to Clemson.
Wow, it's been a while.
That has been a good long while.
You're probably 8 years old when that happened. No, not that.
I was probably, I was 9 or, no, I had just turned 9 about 2 weeks before, and I had a head cold, and I fell asleep in the third quarter, just depressed and sad, tearful.
That was a bad game. But yeah, I mean, at least they won. Hey, at the very, very least, they won the game.
They won the
and
game.
they're
I'm
still
happy.
sitting,
Yeah,
it was very entertaining for Alabama game.
I see the makings of an Alabama fan here.
No. Oh, I should be there this week.
You
hopefully.
should.
We'll
You
see.
should. I hope you do.
Instead, last week, I was at the Auburn game, San Jose State. Very close.
Yeah, and San Jose.
And you can look at the score, 24, 16.
Yeah, 8 points.
And it was that close. A lot of times you're like, well, it wasn't that close. It was that close.
And San Jose State, just like the San Jose State we've seen, this is a bad San Jose State team. They struggled against bad FCS opponents.
Almost lost to Portland State.
They almost lost to Portland. That's unbelievable that you would play Auburn to 8 points. I mean,
And it was that close. It was 10-7 at halftime. It was just ugly, ugly football. And that's why I'm actually picking Penn State this week. After I saw that in person, I'm like, well, I can't pick Auburn to win this
even
game.
if Auburn had blown out San Jose State, there's no way I'm picking them.
The quarterback play is, I mean, everything is a mess. Every single facet of the game is just not looking good.
If they start Robbie Ashford, they have a shot. If they start TJ Finley, no way.
I said before the season started, if they start Finley, they will go 3-9. That was a bit of a, that's not true. They'll go 4-8. Yeah. I mean, it's just, they don't have, I wish they had Van Dyke. I mean, you're speaking of quarterbacks, they couldn't get a decent transfer. They got the transfers they got are Ashford, who you didn't expect to play a lot, and Calzada, who I don't even, was he even at the game? I don't know. I mean,
I thought he was going to be the starter.
Yeah, disappeared. I did too. And it's just not good.
Because Robbie Ashford, what was he, a third stringer at Oregon, and he comes
Never
out
played,
and
right.
I saw a story about him where he was so good in Toy Bowl they had to pull him from the game so they could get other people a chance, and he swore he'd never ride the bench again. And that's all he's been doing his career. I think that he'll get to start by the end of the season, though.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope so too. What about our college games, our picks this week?
Well, I've got a few. I'm going to pick some of the SEC games. And the first game I've got is not going to be close, but it is a conference game, so I'm going to pick it. Georgia, they're traveling to Columbia to take on South Carolina. Georgia's #1 team in the country, and rightfully so. After watching what Alabama and Ohio State have managed to do this season, how they're still undefeated, I don't know. Georgia is the #1 team in America by far. So I think they're going to come out here. They're 24-point favorites against South Carolina. I think they're going to steamroll, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, Georgia. South Carolina got hammered by Arkansas last week. It wasn't even as close as the score was, so this will be bad.
Yeah, and Arkansas, in case you didn't see it, their star player is Drew Sanders, a transfer from Alabama.
Is that the running back?
That is not the running back. That is the linebacker, actually.
Huh.
He was behind Dallas Turner and Will Anderson, and he looked a lot better than both of them last week. All right, I've got another game for you. It's an interesting game, and I never thought I'd say this when it's SEC team against a team like Northern Illinois, but then it's Vanderbilt. And this is the best Vanderbilt's team I've seen in a good long while.
2-1.
Yeah, they're 2-1. They travel to Northern Illinois. They're 2.5-point underdogs.
Wow.
At Northern Illinois. And I think it's home field advantage why they've got the Huskies winning. I don't. I see Vanderbilt rebounding from that loss at Wake Forest last week. If I'd have known Sam Hartman was going to play, I would have picked Wake Forest all day.
Right.
But Sam Hartman made a surprise appearance. Oh, by the way, Sam Hartman's going to play. What in the world? And Vandy gets
Game over.
demolished. I think Vandy's going to rebound. I've got them beating Northern Illinois. What do you think?
I would say that too. I saw that line. I was a little surprised because Vanderbilt, if they're going to win 3 games, this is probably it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know if they can beat a SEC team, but yeah, if they're going to take a step forward, a very small one, this will be it. And I think so too.
All right. Next is an interesting non-conference game, somewhat after seeing what Georgia Tech, how they were able to stay close against Clemson week 1. Ole Miss is traveling to Atlanta to take on the Yellow Jackets. Ole Miss is a 16-point favorite. In my opinion, that's a little close. But I wouldn't have put this game on the docket because I figured it'd be Ole Miss blowout. But the reason I did is because of their quarterback controversy. They've got Luke Altmaier and Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart's a transfer. Luke Altmaier's been in the system. I think Altmaier's going to get the start this week, and I think they're going to pay dividends. You think Altmaier will start, or you've got Dart?
Oh, God. Who started last week?
Last week, well, according to Lane Kiffin, it wasn't a start. It was just taking turns. But last week, it was Altmaier.
So, yeah, I mean, it's about time to pick one.
It is, yeah.
And I think they'll I like Georgia Tech. I think they'll go there and wear them out. Just SEC, ACC.
Right. Yeah, SEC showing their dominance over other conferences this year. Next game is ULM at Alabama. ULM is Louisiana Monroe. 15 years ago, like you said, not the best day in the history of Alabama sports when Louisiana Monroe came to town and ended up pulling that upset. Alabama's, a 49-point favorite for this one? 7 touchdowns is a lot. I do think Alabama's going to cover that, though. I mean, 59-0. This is Alabama mad. Saban probably chewed them out in the locker room all the way back on the bus to the airport, all the way on the plane ride home. He wasn't happy. I'll say that for him. He's a really good coach. I do not see any way that ULM's going to even make it close. Alabama big.
Yeah, I hate that for ULM. They needed Alabama to steamroll.
Right.
Now, Alabama usually takes it easy in these games, but the way they handled Utah State, and this ULM is probably worse, I'm sure. So,
they're a lot worse.
So, yeah, it'll be comparable to that score.
Right, and to give you an idea, Alabama beats Texas by 1. Texas beats ULM by 42.
There you go.
So that's a 43-point advantage, and they hadn't even played. Next game is a very interesting one. It is under the lights at Baton Rouge. Mississippi State traveling to take on LSU Tigers. Mississippi State on the road at night, 2-point favorites.
No way. I could not believe that line.
I did not see that coming. I have LSU winning. They looked very terrible against Florida State week 1. I think they forgot the word special teams, even though that's 2 words. They faced Southern. They beat them 100,000 to nothing or something like that.
They're mad.
Oh, yeah, LSU's on fire. They're going to tear Mississippi State up, don't you think?
I did not understand that line. I mean, I don't know what they've seen. LSU, yeah, they lost to Florida State. It was really close, and they played terrible.
They did.
And this is home under the lights, like you said.
Right.
I'm not a betting man, but I'm taking LSU.
Yeah. All right, here's one that I'm sure you have a lot of interest in. It's Penn State at Auburn. You said with Finley starting, Auburn goes 4-8. Is this one of the 8 losses?
God, I know Penn State's favored. I'm hoping against hope.
I know you're hoping.
They haven't shown anything, you know? I mean, yeah, that's it. They've held everything out until this game. They played terrible on purpose. They wanted to make Penn State feel at home, and then they jump on them, take care of them. But from what I've seen, it's kind of like Jasper. I said, you got to show me something. They have not. In these 2 games, they haven't shown me anything. Not that Penn State's good. They aren't.
They're not.
I think they're not very good at all.
They are not a very good.
I think they're going to be a borderline bowl team, kind of like Auburn. So I hope they beat them, but I'll go Penn State.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
I'm going to. Penn State 3-point favorite. They're the number 22 team in the land. I think that ranking's a little high.
They shouldn't be ranked.
Yeah,
no way.
They shouldn't be. And what I saw extended rankings, Auburn's at 40.
They
So,
shouldn't be.
They got
ranked.
votes in the poll. Good for y'all. I got Penn State winning by 10 points here, and that's only because I think Auburn makes a fight for it at the end. They might substitute Ashford in and make it a little close. I see him starting Finley. I don't know
I do too.
why
Yeah,
they
will.
would,
They will.
but I figure they will.
I think they'll be within 8, something like that.
Yeah, I could see that happening. All right, then we have the game that College Game Day is going to be traveling to for no reason except App State is on fire because they just beat Texas A&M. They have the state of Alabama's very own Troy Trojans taking on the Mountaineers at Boone. Appalachian State,
strange.
12.5-point favorites. What do you think of this one?
Now, how has Troy done this year?
They're not that great. I mean, they're average Troy. They're missing their coach who was poached off, cherry-picked by a bigger school. West Virginia got their coach, Neil Brown.
Oh, he struggled. He's on the hot seat.
He is on the hot seat, like certain coaches named Jimbo Fisher. I would say Scott Frost, but he's
Brian
already
Harsin?
gone. Yeah,
Yes.
Brian Harson's on the hot seat too.
But Appalachian State probably, unless they have a letdown, they should take care of this.
Yeah, and you fight, you pour everything you've got into one game, you should see a letdown. I think App State's going to win by a touchdown. I see the letdown coming.
And they had, North Carolina?
Yeah, they had
So they've
North
had North Carolina and,
Texas A&M.
wow, that's a tough schedule.
Yeah, they and the 2022, what was it, Cotton Bowl or Orange Bowl, one of those New Year's Six games was North Carolina and Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's crazy. I played them both.
Yeah.
So are we done with the picks?
No, we've got one final big game. This is Miami traveling to Kyle Field, take on the Texas A&M Aggies. Both teams are ranked. Miami's at 13, A&M's at 24. A&M is a 5.5-point favorite.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot after seeing what I saw last week. When their offense couldn't do nothing. They turned the ball over. They went 3 and out. They played terribly. And Miami's playing good. But this is the kind of game that Texas A&M can win. You saw last year they were on a 2-game losing streak. They lost to Arkansas and Mississippi State. They have Alabama coming to town. Alabama was, a 17.5-point favorite, 18-point favorite. They come out and they win.
It's a fluke.
It was a fluke, yeah. I mean, that field goal, I still say that field goal should never went in. But I've got A&M winning this one just because it's the kind of game they'd win. What do you see happening, Johnathan?
Had they won last week, I think this would be tougher. Coming off a loss, it's kind of like Alabama. I mean, they are loaded with talent.
They are.
There is no excuse. That's what people are mad about. You're loaded with talent, and you're losing to Appalachian State. You had the #1 recruiting class ever, right, last year?
Yeah, it was the best class ever, and they probably paid every player on it. I'm not going to get in that. Yes, I am. But A&M needs to show a lot more than what I've seen for me to think they're going to do anything.
Yeah, I think they'll win this game. I think it worked out. The timing's perfect.
Right, it is. I mean, if you have any game to follow up a loss, it's a big game. You usually show up for that. And, you see where teams, they're supposed to be good and they plummet, but then after that big loss, they can pull off a win and then they just face plant. So I don't see A&M winning many games after this.
Wow. All right, well, thanks for your picks.
No
That's
problem.
Zach's
Thank you.
picks this week.
It is.
And thanks for joining us this week, along with Zach McCullar. We'll see you next week.